Okay, if you're within the sound of my voice, come on by, settle in, bring the coffee over. Robin's here. He's going to talk to us about a thing that a lot of us, I'm sure, are interested in, which is being able to get good signal, good internet wherever you're parked. I know there's been several times where I had some admin stuff I got to do and literally had to plan my day around packing up and driving the van into town, or closer to town anyway, and sitting someplace far uglier than where I was camped to get my stuff done. So being able to be out in the middle of nowhere, and it can make a big difference to your quality of life. So with no further ado, here's Robin.
Hello, morning everyone. So I will start by saying this is a little bit out of my comfort zone. I'm not usually one for sitting in front of people speaking, so if I stutter a bit, I'm apologising in advance, So I've been invited to talk this morning, give a little bit of a backstory about the company that I set up with my wife, Wandering Wifi, and then a little product review of the router that we sell. So I promise you I'm not making this up, where the inspiration came from VanLife Fest 2024. So we were just here as normal campers like everybody else, and I'm sure everyone's experienced it, where you got your phone, you've got the 4 bars of signal, but nothing's working. So me and my wife, we've been married a long time, and those of us who've been married a long time, you'll know what it's like. You don't really want to spend the weekend talking to your wife. I had YouTube videos to catch up on, and she was trying to get a streaks on Duolingo, and it was quite frustrating. So we thought we'd look into Wi-Fi for the campervan once we got home. Obviously, we couldn't look when we were here. So we got home and we started looking on the internet for the different options that were available. And I don't know if... Is this working? Oh, there we go. No, it's come back on. Yeah, so the different options, they were well out of our price range. So the search pretty much ended there. So we carried on using the van as we normally do, just weekends away, the odd night or whatnot. And again, I don't know if anyone's had it before. Either you're in a remote spot and there's no Wi-Fi, or you've got a little bit on your phone, but as soon as you shut the door, it cuts it off. It gets quite frustrating, Maybe we shouldn't spend our times on our phones, but it's the signs of the modern times, isn't it? So I started looking again, and like I say, the price was putting me off, but I thought I want something in my van to give me reliable signal. And over the years, I've always done a little bit of importing products, buying from the forest and selling them in the UK. So I spoke to a couple of my contacts, explained what I was after, asked if they knew anybody who would do something along those lines. So I got a couple of leads, had a few conversations, and I ended up with a couple of samples being delivered. This was around about January 2025 that they were being dispatched. So we're just waiting on the products coming out. Me and my wife had a little short break, booked away in Spain, end of February, and the products were due to be delivered when we were away. That's not an issue, we had family ready to get it. And then this is where the first disaster struck for us. So my dad, he just recently retired, and he was as excited as I was to be doing the Wandering Wi-Fi, so much so that he'd bought himself a van as well that he was going to do up as a camper van and come to festivals like this for himself. The day before we're due to come home, my dad was found unconscious under his van. Apologies. He had a catastrophic bleed on the brain, and he died, unfortunately. Sorry. So yeah, we took a little while to grieve for that. And obviously we had the products. So a few weeks or so we got back onto it, and we decided on this router here, which would be our product. So we placed our order, and we're waiting for the stock to come over from China. I don't know if anyone's ever placed bulk orders from China. It takes about 6 or 8 weeks to come. So in that time, my van was due for its MOT. My dad was also my mechanic and my welder, and there was a lot of welding work needed done on my van. So we looked around for local welders. I've never had to do it before, you know, so put on Facebook like you do and ask if anyone can recommend people. So we got a guy who talked the talk. Unfortunately, he was an absolute cowboy and ripped us off for 1,500 quid. And, well, I mean, if anyone wants to see the MOT failure online, I'll give you the registration later. You can see it, dangerous repairs. He almost destroyed the van. So my wife said, look, we're going to have to get rid of the van, but it had the link to my dad. Me and my dad built it out, you know, and with losing him not long before this stage, I wanted to keep it. Long story short, it cost about $6,000 to keep the van on the road, but the van's probably only worth about 1,500 quid on a good day, by the way, if anyone's wondering. It's a Ford Transit, 21 years old. So, yeah, anyway, so this took us right the way through to about September last year. We'd missed the festival season, so that was a total washout. So we'd put our website online, wanderingwifi.co.uk, and we've had a few sales on that. It's been ticking over slowly. We've worked with a couple of influencers, YouTubers and whatnot, and we've got our own Facebook, Instagram, YouTube channel. And yeah, so that pretty much brings me up to now here today. So I've got the product down here. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to hold the microphone and lift the board up at the moment, but 2 seconds. So what you would get anyway, if you ordered off the internet, you would get a little box like this, and I'll go through the contents in the box. Oh, thanks, buddy.
Right.
I'll let you put that in there. I'm not sure how it works.
Might be a bit too big. Yeah, I'll keep hold of that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think this might work, actually, to be fair, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
Keep going with that and I'll just turn this mic on.
No worries. So, can everyone see this board? Yeah. So, like I say, you would order the router in the box. It would come in the box. You'd get your router itself just on the front here. Obviously, you've got your Wi-Fi antennas. You've got your 4G antennas on the bottom. Mains power, 12-volt power. You've got SIM card adapter. So, if you're taking it out of your phone, if you've got the nano SIM, you can just pop it in there. Fitting screws, data cable if you need it. Sorry. No, it's fine. So a few little details about it. Obviously, it's unlocked to all networks. Although we have had a few people report issues with Vodafone, there is a work around it, but we have to talk you through doing it. I can't log in remotely and do it. You would have to do it because you have to be physically connected to the router. But every other network's been fine. But like I say, I make sure that I tell everybody. I don't want anyone to say I've been dishonest or anything like that, you know. So as I say, 12 volt and 240 mains power. Small and discreet, connects up to 32 devices. So kids, grandkids, partners, whatever. It is a Cat4 Wi-Fi, so it can get up to 150 megabytes per second. 2-year warranty, so that's if it's any defects whatsoever within the 2 years, give us a shout, we'll sort it out. We're not going to walk away and say, well, we've got your money now, bye. You know, not at all. That's not what I'm like. Works in the UK and mainland Europe as well. These were some of the specifications I wanted specifically. It had to work in Europe because we plan on going and visiting our friends in Portugal, and we want a product that's going to work. And we also have different antenna options as well. So the standard antennas, they work fine most of the time. If you're in very rural locations, you know, it depends on obviously where the signal strength is, but we have different ones anyway. Oops. So this one here is the indoor antenna. Sorry, I'll just crop that back. This is the indoor antenna. It's got a suction cup on the back. You can stick it to a window, or it's got a little slot in as well where you can put a screw in the wall and just hang it on the wall if you haven't got a window in the back of your van. We also have an outdoor antenna, which you would drill a 12mm hole in the roof of your van, feed the cables inside. They are 3-meter twin cables. just put a bit of Sikaflex or butyl tape or something on the bottom to seal it, waterproof it, make sure it's not going to leak into the van. And also for the people who don't want to drill a hole in the van, if I can get it out of the bag, we've got a magnet mount base. So for the outdoor antenna, you would just obviously screw the antenna into the base and stick the magnet onto the roof of your van. It's not intended for sticking it there and driving off or whatnot, so you would have to bring it in every time you were going to move the van. Just gonna have a drink of my coffee, 2 cents. So I've got a couple of frequently asked questions. So the first question is, will I definitely get signal everywhere? Short answer, no. It depends on what the signal strength is, where you're parked up. So, and also how many people are connected to the mast. So again, I don't know if anyone's checked the phone here and they've got 3 or 4 bars, but then they can't do anything. It's just because so many people are connected to the same mast, and it's just diluting the signal to where it's almost useless, basically. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. That's down to like O2 and 3 and whatnot, you know. So I can't guarantee that you won't get signal everywhere, but where there is even weak signal and it's not swamped with people like this, they do have a little amplifier built into them as well, so it can take a weak signal and it can amplify it to make it a little bit stronger. And then also if you've got the external antennas, obviously the higher the antennas, the better chance you've got of receiving the signal. With the exception of here, we've not had signal anywhere when we've been away in the van. Like I say, the only time we've had a problem is when we've come here, but that's due to the volume of people here rather than the signal itself. Next question we normally get is, I'm a YouTuber or influencer, do we do partnerships? Yes, we do, but we've got strict criteria for who we work with. It's not so much as how many subscribers you've got or how many members or whatever. We work with people who, when they talk to us and they tell us what to do and whatnot, if we like them, if we get the vibe, you know, if that makes sense, I'm not going to say, oh, well, yeah, we'll work with you because you've got 20,000 followers, but we're not going to say no, not going to say yes to you because you've only got 500. Not at all. Like I say, we are very much for the people. I mean, we've seen people before where they've got 20,000 subscribers and they get 300 people watching the videos. But then you get someone who's got 2,000 subscribers and they get 1,500 people watching the videos because people like them rather than just clicking through because they're bored or whatnot. One of the YouTubers that we did work with is Harley from The Groovy Life. I don't know if anyone watches her on YouTube. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody. Okay then. Move on from that then. This one's one of my favorite questions as well. I bet you buy them dead cheap and you make a fortune on them, do you? I bet you get them for 50 quid each. You know, all I'll say is if anyone can get them with the same specifications, same accessories for 50 quid, I'll buy 100 off you. So, as I said earlier on, these aren't unique to us. We spoke to our producers in China and we bought a pre-existing product. So then we get people saying, if they aren't unique to us, why should you buy one off me? Why would you not buy one off other people? There is a company in the UK that sells exactly the same router with a different sticker on, but they're a little bit more expensive, shall we say. I'm contractually not allowed to name the company, so if anyone can guess it, I can't confirm or deny it. But yeah, like I say, why should you buy off me and not from them? Other than the price, I mean, we're cheaper, but more important than the price, you're not buying from a face corporation, you're buying from me. You know, I'm just a normal person. I'm not Wandering Wi-Fi Limited who, once it's got your money, walk away. I'm me. You know, I'm a normal person. I'm a van lifer like yourselves. I put my name and address on the internet. If anyone is in North Tyneside, you can come to my house, you can have a cuppa, you know, and I'll show you it. Yeah, I've got nothing to hide, you know, I'm just a normal person. I know what it's like to be ripped off. I got that last year. That's not what I'm into doing, you know. I would much rather sell something that people are going to be satisfied with and be happy with and tell all our friends, oh yes, I've got this, it's great. I would recommend you get one. Then, oh, I bought this, it's useless. I spoke to the guy and he says, well, it's tough, I've got the money. You know, that, to me, the good customer service and the good reputation is a lot more than any profit. I work a full-time job. This is just a side thing that I do. If I make money or I don't make money, it's neither here nor there, you know, if that makes sense. Obviously, I would like to make money, that's why I set the business up, but I would rather have satisfied customers. And even if you bought a product and you said, look, actually it's not for me, I'd rather give you the money back and you'd be happy and you tell people that you were happy dealing with us than make a little bit profit off it. So I know it probably wasn't really much of a product demo as such. I haven't got a power pack here because it's over at my store, so I can't hook it up. But even if I couldn't show you it working because there's so many people. But does anyone have any questions? And I'll see if I can answer them. Yes, mate?
The antennas that you've got on it, are they omnidirectional or you have to angle?
Yeah, so the antennas, yes, they are omnidirectional, yes. I mean, you can buy other ones on the likes of Amazon and whatnot, which are directional, so obviously you would have to point it straight at the mast. But these ones are omnidirectional. Yes, mate?
What's the kind of main difference between using that or hotspotting from your mobile? You know?
Right, yeah, so that is actually another question that I get asked a lot. So if you're just by yourself in the middle of nowhere with good signal, you're probably not going to benefit from this, if I'm totally honest. And again, this is where I'm probably not a good businessman, where I tell people that you don't necessarily need to buy it. But so where you will notice a difference is if you're in the van with, I don't know, partner, children, parents, whatever, mates, whatever it is, and if they're linked to yours, then they will get a slower speed hotspotting off your phone than they would get connected to this. So the main difference is where you've got multiple people connected, you would benefit from faster speeds off the router rather than hotspotting off a mobile phone. And also, like I say, if you're in an area where it's got low signal, it's got an amplifier built into it so it can amplify the signal. And again, obviously the antenna in your phone, provided you're in a low signal area. If you're in a good signal area, it makes no difference. But if you're in a low signal area, obviously you've just got the tiny antenna around the outside of your phone. Obviously you've got the antennas here, or you've got the larger ones. So, right. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, hello there.
If I buy one today, would you come and set it up for me?
In your van?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. Like I say, the only thing is I can't show you it working connected to the internet. But yes, that's no problem whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, hello there.
Does it matter where in your van you put the antenna, like at the TV or the fridge, does that cause interference?
So putting it close to things can cause a little bit of interference, especially like electrical items. We've got ours in the seat box, which we've got like the diner style seats where the table drops down into the double bed. We've got ours under the seat, and it doesn't interfere with that. But initially we did put it where like the battery and the electricals and everything are, and that did cause a little bit of interference. So I'll be mindful where you put it. Like I say, like the router in your house, if you position that behind a TV, that can block some of the signals, so I would just be mindful of that, yes. And also, if you were using one of the upgraded antennas, the cable length is 3 meters, so it would have to be 3 meters away from where that was. Any other questions from anyone? Nope. I've got some stickers if anyone collects stickers for sticker walls or whatever, or if anyone can think of any questions, we've got the stall over in the Trade Village. Pop over, say hello, and I'll happily answer any questions. So, I think that's everything. Thanks very much for your time. Thanks for listening.